Hello. So this training is to explain to you how the gut works. It is the center of all health. So the first thing I want to do is talk a little bit about the mucosal barrier that you can see on the screen here. So when we talk about the mucosal barrier, I'm talking about the small intestine and the lining of the small intestine. It connects the stomach and the large intestine, and it's pretty long, and it runs about 22 feet long. Now, when it's functioning well, it absorbs about 90% of our nutrients from the food we eat and transports water, nutrients, and vitamins into our cells. Now, when it isn't functioning well, it can actually increase toxicity in the body. So this image is actually the basic anatomy of the mucosal barrier. So it has a single layer of cells called enterocytes that line the barrier. Now, these are held together by really tight junctions, which main function is to keep particles from getting through. And you can see all of these little finger-like things called microvilli, and they absorb the nutrients that keep us healthy. Basically, the mucosal barrier's job is to keep the bad guys, so bacteria, viruses, out and let the good guys in, so those nutrients. And it takes all those macronutrients, carbs, fats, proteins that we eat and digests them and converts them into micronutrients so that they can be absorbed by those little finger villi and delivers them into the bloodstream and into our cells. Now, nothing larger than this micronutrient size should actually be able to get through. Now, there's also an additional defense system here beyond just that physical barrier. We also have a chemical barrier created in the small intestine called secretory IgA or SIGA, as seen on the diagram here. Well, the SIGA is kind of a chemical defense system, and it's there to protect against things that should not come into the system. So even though we have the physical barrier, we also still need that additional chemical defense system in order to make sure that nothing gets through into the bloodstream. So we have our physical and our chemical defense system to protect our body. Now, can you imagine what would happen if these defense systems are not functioning properly? It can compromise nutrient absorption and also allow nasty toxins and bacteria to leak into our bloodstream. In other words, you can have something called leaky gut. So I'm going to bring up another image now. Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to find that image. Okay, so I know that was the wrong image there. I'm just going to bring up another one. Okay, great. So at the top, you can see we have all of these nasties and stress and system malfunctions. And if they're there on a consistent basis, it can trigger inflammation or damage the mucosal barrier. So we've got stress and infections, bad food, pathogens, drugs, toxins. Now, when they damage the mucosal barrier, we get a breakdown to the tight junctions between the enterocytes. So here, like there, as you can see. Now, the more, and these nasties are actually allowed to leak through because there's holes in them. The more onslaught it receives, the larger the holes and the larger the molecules can leak through into our system. Now, our immune system recognizes these large molecules as a foreign object, and it turns on this immune response. So when we get sick, it's like the body recognizes that it's a virus, and it turns on this immune response to kill it off. Now, if you think about this, if that large molecule is in fact a large food macronutrient or protein, then your immune system might start sending signals to create an immune response and start creating antibodies and start attacking it. Now, anytime you eat that again, your immune system sees it as dangerous and it attacks it, which causes more inflammation and continues to further break down the mucosal barrier. Now, all of this results in food intolerances, and these food intolerances continue to wreak havoc on the gut until they are removed. And it's like this vicious cycle. The food intolerances cause leaky gut, and leaky gut has caused the food intolerances. So all of these invaders that are causing this inflammation then cause the villi, these finger-like things here, to shrink and become blunted and flattened out. And so you can actually get nutrient deficiency or vitamin deficiency because so much of the minerals and vital nutrients can't be absorbed, and even the healthiest foods aren't being able to be absorbed in your body. So what we need to do is we need to remove the food intolerances out of the body, out of our diet, and heal that leaky gut. I'm going to bring up another visual for you here. You can see that by this chart that leaky gut can actually affect the whole body. It can cause anxiety, depression, constipation, diarrhea, hyperactivity, ADHD symptoms, skin issues, frequent cold and headaches. And if it goes on too long, you can actually get autoimmune diseases as well. And so you can see that it's not always obvious that it is connected to leaky gut. So as I said before, what you need to do is you need to remove the food intolerances out of the diet. You need to work on healing the leaky gut so we can start to add back that food, and we can start seeing some of those symptoms reducing, and we can heal the body. Hopefully that explains a little bit about the gut. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you. Have a great day.